A friend had reached out to me about odd things happening at her friend's residence. I immediately asked during our conversation who was having nausea and headaches, and she was in shock as I continued to tell her what I was seeing and feeling. I told her that the back left bedroom was where someone was dabbling with something that they shouldn't have had. To which all I heard was, "Oh my God," as her response. Her friend agreed to have me do a walkthrough and a reading. Upon our arrival, Loper and I walked around the outside of the house on the property. After I was done, he went inside to conduct an interview. I got a sense of Civil War soldiers, things being buried on the property, and an attachment to something in the house, specifically in the living room, and a strong male presence, especially around the shed that was located behind the house. A continued feeling of headaches and nausea was present the entire time. It would only be after Loper concluding the interview would I be able to see if any of this would make sense.
Can you tell us the reason why we were called out here?
Best friend she's friends with Gwen. And they started, I don't know if they were talking, texting, messaging on Facebook, I don't know. And Gwen asked her who's having headaches and nausea. That would be my oldest child. My oldest daughter and her stepsister. The stepsister brought candles with her that she had made. She started dibbling and dabbling in witchcraft. Thereafter, shares with me that they released a demon in the house and she was afraid to sleep in her bedroom. My dad passed away in 2013. In October, we moved in by Thanksgiving. I used to feel Dad. My oldest said she could see him from time to time. And since the demon thing came about, I don't see or feel him anymore.
Can you tell me about some of the experiences some of the other individuals say they've had?
My youngest daughter says that one night she was laying in her bed, I was asleep. She was trying to go to sleep, and she saw a little girl run into her room, and then the little girl went down at the foot of her bed and disappeared. And she was too afraid to yell or look to see if the little girl was there.
Has any adults ever felt anything in the house?
Yes.
When we pulled up in the driveway, I kept feeling an attachment to an item, and I kept hearing living room, living room, living room. Okay? And an attachment to something in the house, specifically in the living room. When I first walked in, I noticed this picture right here, and there's a lot of energy around that picture. And I don't know what it is. It could be somebody that had it before you. I don't know. But I'm feeling like there's something kind of lingering. It's not bad. It's nothing bad. Okay. It's just something that's kind of lingering around the picture for whatever reason.
And I have no idea how old it is. It was my dad's parents' picture. I don't even know. It's a relative, a great-great aunt or a great-great-great aunt. I don't know.
Okay. This room, I'm coming. I'm sorry, I talk to them out loud like that.
Oh, that's okay.
This room is significant. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of... It's uneasiness. It's like... I'm kind of sad.
The 15-year-old that moved back in with her dad.
15. See, I didn't know how old she was, and I picked up a mid-teen.
And this is the room that she didn't want to sleep in.
This is the uneasiness that I'm feeling. Okay. I picked up headaches, nausea, just an extreme amount. For no reason. Just pops up. Times, especially with kids, they see stuff on TV, and they think it's okay to do, and it's not okay to do. Because then you have people like me showing up at your house. She did something that she didn't come out and say it, but it's like you suspected it, that maybe she was doing more than candle burning, because the messages that I'm getting is that she invited us. She told us it was okay. This is what I'm hearing. She told us it was okay. We could hang out here. We were okay here. And that's not the part that's bothering me. The part that's bothering me is the one that got through that should have never came in here. Now, I'm not one that's quick to throw out demon. Okay?
That's what she said.
You know, I'm on the fence about demons. In my humble opinion, do I think there's a possibility of demons? Absolutely. There's a good and bad as part of the balance. Are demons as often as people claim to be? I don't think so. Do I think it's a demon? No. Do I think it's somebody that's not nice? Absolutely. It's somebody trying to portray themselves as something more than what they are, to keep her in line, to keep her in that fear. Okay? Right. The other ones are lingering around, but they're just kind of like,
whatever,
hanging out. They're not really bothering anything. You might catch a shadow at the corner of your eye once in a while, or you might hear a noise that's unusual to hear. It's okay. It's just them being them. The male likes things done in an orderly fashion. You can't do this step until this step is done. You know, very compassionate, loving individual when they were alive, but very stringent on their ways. Kind of stubborn. They could be stubborn, especially towards the end of their life. But that's because of the illness that was going on with them.
Bad.
Okay, like I say, it wasn't them, it was the illness.
Oh, he had rheumatoid arthritis.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he's just not happy with the whole situation at all. He's just not. But he's very disappointed in what she did. I feel that she dabbled in something a little bit more.
Witchcraft.
Than what she should have. Which witchcraft is fine, but the problem with witchcraft is it's the intent of the individual. Because when your friend contacted me and we were speaking on the phone, when she was expressing her concerns, we have that mutual friend. When she was expressing her concerns, I immediately said, "Who's been messing with a Ouija board?" Because that was the first thing I saw.
Stepsister.
You know. Okay. And she was like, "How did you know?" And I was like, "Don't ask me how this works.
It just happens."
They're telling me this stuff. They're telling me there's a Ouija board. There's been a lot of illness going on. There's anger. There's headaches. And she's like, yes, 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 yes. And when I walked around to the back, I kept hearing that there's items buried in the backyard. Fair. It wasn't uncommon back in the day, especially during the Civil War. People would bury stuff in mason jars in the yard, especially family heirlooms and stuff like that, because they figured, you know what, if I'm going to get killed, you're not going to take my stuff with you. Okay? We do know for a fact that before he became president, Rutherford Hayes, who's the 19th president, we do know for a fact that he and his camp came through here.
Okay.
We found that out after our first investigation on 6th Street.
Okay.
Is it possible some of this stuff is connected? Very much so. I was picking up soldiers down in that corner lot right there, in the corner of the lot. It's like 7. It's not a whole bunch of them. It's like 7.
and they're still waiting on orders. He likes calm. He likes order. Again, it goes back to that orderly type deal that I was describing before.
He was the manager of the shoe factory for years.
Okay. Because like I said, I didn't feel military. I didn't. Sometimes when I get that, I feel a strong military presence, but I didn't get that with him. But it was along the same thinking pattern, you know. Cutting the grass, you have to weed eat, you have to do it this way, you have to cut the grass at this angle, you have to
cut the grass so that it's blown this way, and yes.
All I could hear was, you know, don't forget how to cut the grass, you know, don't forget how to cut the grass. So he's still on that, okay?
And I don't cut it anymore, and that's why he's upset, because I'm not doing it.
The reason the grass really came out.
Yeah.
And I was like, why are you harping on the lawn?
That's Dad. And no doubt about it.
Why
that
are
is
you
definitely
harping on the
Dad.
lawn? Oh, where's the rest of the house goes?
Oh, the little girl. Ah.
Hang on. Can I go in here?
Sure you can.
She has seen something in here, but it scared her, being as young as this one is, and not really understanding. And I'm thinking it was probably her first experience seeing something like that. That would be enough to scare anybody. I don't care how old you are. But she definitely felt like she wasn't alone in the room. I don't know which one it was. I don't think it was the male. I think it was one of the females. Because I keep hearing both of them going, she did it.
Well, she tell them not to do that anymore.
The little girl, the little girl is connected to this land. She died, I'm being told a horse kicked her. That's how long she's been around. We're talking back in the day, like...
At least 1800s.
At least 1800s.
Okay.
So that's what happened with her. She's fully aware that she's dead. And it's almost like she was hoping the living child wouldn't see her when she... Because it was almost like she's peeking at her.
Gotcha.
You know. But she caught her right when she was going down.
The little girl went down at the foot of her bed and disappeared.
Now would be a good time to share the story which you shared with me.
I was asleep. She saw a little girl go down at the foot of her bed. And it scared her so bad. She couldn't move. She couldn't scream. She could do was breathe.
That might be explain why they both saying she did it. They weren't.
Yeah, because neither one of them wants to get in trouble.
She did it. I see what you're saying. Okay. It takes me a minute sometimes, okay? Sheesh.
She's good, isn't she?
Oh, yes.
Touchy. Very touchy. That shit, because I went to take a step and was like, no, that's mine. I was like, okay. There's something in that shed that somebody will not let go of, and they want to make sure that everybody knows they can't have it because it's theirs.
That would be Danny. And he knows that I'm getting ready to get somebody to help me clean it out.
That's what it is.
That would make perfect sense.
And I don't know what item he doesn't want me to get rid of.
My advice to you is when you're going through the stuff, if you come across an item, just sit there and just hold it. Okay? If you start feeling any type of tingling, heat, numbness, keep it. Okay. I told somebody to try this, and she said it actually worked. She actually ended up keeping like 5 items. Once she started asking family, come to find out these items had belonged to previous family members. We're talking 60, 70 years.
Oh.
Okay, so that was them letting her know, keep this. Even if you have no use for it, put it up somewhere. Keep it. Don't get rid of it. Because they've been in the family for so long. But that